To really talk about where we are right now, we have to sort of reiterate, you know, what the thesis of this entire project is, and by that I mean, you know, what Roulette is besides just as a movie. Film school graduate gets married, comes home from his honeymoon, says to his wife, we're going to take what little money we have, we're going to dump it into making a feature film. We're going to try to find friends, family, film school grads, people that we know who are willing to donate their time, and we're going to try to make the best movie that we possibly can. We're going to try to sweep the festival circuit, and we're going to try to sell the movie to whatever distributor will pick it up and hopefully crack a door for all of our careers. That is the concept of Roulette. It started off as a little tiny project that blew up, that got bigger. As the script got circulated, as people started talking about it, it escalated. We no longer had friends who were coming out to do speaking parts. We now had actors from the region who were, you know, seeking us out and wanting to have a part in this film. Again, it got so much bigger than we ever expected it to be. Roulette just got huge, and everybody was behind the project. Everybody knew exactly what they were getting into. They're donating their time, their services, their equipment, their houses, their own clothes, costumes, whatever, with the hopes that this would be a film with a capital F that would launch all of our careers. And it sounds very Woodstock, you know, it's in peace and love, and all of us, you know, working together on a common goal. And somewhere in the midst of all of that, we failed to get an actor to sign a release.
We were getting really close to being done. We were finishing up ADR. We only had like 3 more sessions, I think, or maybe 4 before we're completely done doing ADR. Score was pretty much done. Foley was like 90% done. Color was 90% done. And then suddenly we had the rug pulled out from under us.
One of the people that we have been working with, one of the people on this film, decided that they were going to hold out on signing their contract. Now, of course, you know, we are partly to blame for that, as we did not get the contract signed.
Because they were a friend as well as an actor, and so we weren't stressing it, and it kept getting forgotten every time they show up. Oh, we should have brought that form with us this time. Oh, well, next time, you know, we'll get it signed. Okay, that's great.
And one of the actors, it's my fault. They slipped through the cracks and they didn't sign a release.
This person had given us no, you know, give us no reason to think that they would hold out for reasons still unknown.
Tried some reasoning, you know, letters, phone calls, messages, trying to work it out, and nothing helped.
It put us in a very difficult position, because at this point we had been telling cast and crew that, you know, the movie was going to, we were about to tell them that, and we had been hinting about it, that the movie was about to, you know, about to be finished within, let's say, a month's time at that point. We were about to let everyone know, what our plans were once certain things had been set in stone, which at that point was imminent. And now we are, or at that point, when all this went down, we were faced with essentially a bunch of scenes that were at this point, and are at this point, unusable.
You know, you get to a point where you just get exhausted, and you need to wrap the thing up, you know, get some sleep, and move on to the next thing. And I think the hardest part of all this was we were literally there. We were right there at the very, very end.
I guess rather than allowing production to come to a halt, and rather than trying to bark up the same trees that we have been barking up for the past, I would say, almost 2 months now. It's been about 2 months. Rather than trying to pursue the things that we were trying to pursue at that point and just, you know, taking this one, we are going to reshoot all of the scenes that we are unable to use, finish the movie, and get it out in festivals as soon as possible.
Here we are, and we've assembled all the cast and the crew together. Everybody is standing behind us. Everybody really wants to see the film finished, and thank God for them, because without them, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now.
It was disappointing to hear that the film had come to a halt the way it did.
I'd say more frustrating than anything, because we've been so excited to see finished product get something we've worked so hard on it, and Eric's worked on it, and Brian, and the whole production team, all the actors.
It's been a long and arduous process to get to where we were, and to have it just come to a screeching halt was like, you know, what the fuck? You know, what do we do now? Like, we had everything done. It was ready to go. And then, you know, we after the first meeting, we're like, look, you know, we all knew we could do it, and we could do it better.
Everyone's pretty positive, and I've just seen nothing but like positive energy and people having a good time. And it really reminds me of when we first started shooting and how excited everyone was. And you know what I mean? Like how basically everyone, it was a fresh start, you know, it was a fresh, and it feels like a fresh start. Like we started over, but we already have pretty much everything done except for the small amounts that we have to reshoot.
Considering the circumstances, everyone, I mean, you would never know anything had happened. Everyone's just business as usual, and everyone's in a good mood, and being friendly, joking around, but at the same time getting stuff done.
We thought, you know, everybody was pretty much done donating their time, which obviously there's not like there's any money in it. That would make things a lot easier to donate time, but, you know, like, we like, personally for us, we sacrificed, you know, taking a couple jobs during the actual original production of the movie, so we could get it done, because it is such a good project. And now we were like, now we're gonna redo it. Now we're gonna give stuff up. And Eric's like, look, we can do this in 5 days. I'm like, 5 days over a couple months really isn't that bad.
We need to reshoot about 10 to 12 minutes of the finished film. Of course, it's the finished film. You know, it doesn't take 10 minutes to reshoot the parts, but. So it's not a huge chunk of the film. So the film's an hour and 44 minutes. So it's actually a fairly small piece. What makes it complicated is that it spans 3 seasons.
You know, if we didn't have to worry about the seasons, all we had to worry about was getting the locations and getting the actor scheduled, we could probably have everything reshot easily within a month.
I was so worried talking about reshoots. I was so worried having to go back to cast members and back to crew members and say, look, it was my mistake. It was my mistake. I should have gotten them to sign before we filmed a single scene. And I thought people were going to yell at me. I thought people were going to say, Eric, you didn't know what you were doing. It's all your fault. You've screwed the movie up. And not a single person has said that. In terms of public response and in terms of being faithful to the project, showing back up, having production meetings, and then being here on set, being here with good spirits, being here energized, I mean, everybody's been great, but I'm still sorry that everybody had to deal with all the drama that surrounded the reshoots. First with, you know, us having to announce it, us having to explain it and talk about it, the fact that, you know, the actor in question retaliated with a lot of nasty public emails that were sent to everybody in the cast and crew, and it's just, it's really heartbreaking, and I'm sorry to everybody, and all I can do is finish the film. One way or the other, finish the film.